Hi, Jay. This is Marguerite from Fortuna again. I just want to respond to V from New York in his discussion about MLK and paternalism. He spoke a lot of things from the Black American culture, and I want to give another viewpoint on that. One thing he mentioned was the concept of paternalism and the protection that Black men have felt and may feel due to the raping of Black women through the time of slavery. And I would like to turn that and also look at the fact that that was a great harm done to women as well, not just primarily being the victims, but also in the fact that they were made to watch and had to watch their men being whipped and lynched. And they're the ones who often directly cared for those bodies and prepared them for burial if necessary. So there really is a mutual protection and a mutual feel of care between Black men and women through that time. And I did go ahead and look up that Summer of Our Discontent, and it does have that one line about the commonality of women being working, but there's really nothing else in that speech that speaks to the honor of women and the roles that they have played in the marches and the civil rights movement in general. And this is not a new critique, there was actually a critique from Arnold Hedgeman, who was a civil rights leader and who was in A. Philip Randolph's circle, who actually said, suffice to say that the male would be better advised to spend less time mourning the loss of his superiority and more time working in partnership with women, end quote. She was working at that time. There were other women such as Mary Hamilton, who was the one who actually got all women known as Miss during the court case, which led to women being known as Ms. If they are not married. You can both look these up on online, and there's a really lovely NPR and Code Switch discussion on Mary Hamilton, who was approached by many civil rights leaders and actually was propositioned by Reverend King himself because we knew he had multiple affairs. So I think the critiques that were laid out are not just from today. There are also critiques that were had at the time in the 1960s and the 1940s. And I think it's appropriate to look back in that way. And then looking as to currently, yes, women are double minorities, so we may be preferred in hiring in some ways, but we also only make 65% of what white men make, where Black men still make 73% of what white men make. So there is still male supremacy. Black men still do have male privilege. There's a really wonderful TED Talk by Kimberly Crenshaw that talks about the urgency of intersectionality, that talks about why we know the name of Eric Garner and Mike Brown and Tamir Rice, but we don't know the names of Michelle Crusoe, Tanisha Anderson, or Aura Rosier, although all of these people have been killed by police. So I think that there are fair critiques to MLK's perception and honoring or lack thereof of women, and I think it's okay to talk about them and let that be known, in knowing that our people are not always ideal and perfect, that they are human, and they can be seen as, products of their time, but also be critiqued for what they do at that time and how we see them now. So thanks for all you do, Jay. Thanks for the opportunity to respond. Sorry it ran long. Thanks.